Meghan Markle's parents have gone through a lot. You might not have heard about all the sad details, so let's go over it.
I can't answer that question.
It was during their time working behind the scenes on General Hospital in 1979 that Doria Ragland and Thomas Markle first became acquainted. After falling in love, the couple relocated to Los Angeles and welcomed Meghan Markle, their only child, together in 1981. But the pair decided to call it quits when their kid turned 2. After that, Meghan split her time between her parents' houses. In the British documentary Thomas Markle, My Story, Thomas talked openly about his divorce and how he was rarely present in his wife's and kids' lives. It went well for a while, but I wasn't home enough, he stated. Doria had other interests as well. What was going on in that household at that time wasn't making me happy. Then we divorced after that. The whole family split up at that time. Doria moved with Meghan to a nice little house, and I would see her on weekends and whenever I could. Doria Ragland and Thomas Markle relocated to the Woodland Hills district of Los Angeles following their marriage. Living in the mostly white neighborhood, Ragland experienced discrimination as a black lady and mother of a mixed-race child. In an Elle interview, Meghan Markle said, "There was my mom, caramel in complexion with her light-skinned baby in tow, being asked where my mother was since they assumed she was the nanny." After the divorce of Ragland and Thomas, the racism intensified. In an episode of Harry and Meghan, Meghan said that she and her mother were traveling to a Hollywood Bowl event when a stranger screamed the N-word and honked their horn at Ragland. "I just remember my mom, the grip her hands had on the steering wheel," Meghan said. It was so tight, like the knuckles get all white, and she was just silent the rest of the drive home. We never talked about it. Strong black women have long preceded Meghan Markle. According to all accounts, Jeanette Ragland, her maternal grandmother, was a dedicated worker who zealously guarded her 3 children when her husband departed. Jeanette was looked after by Meghan after suffering a stroke in her later years. Meghan's uncle, Joseph Johnson, told the Daily Mail, "Meghan would sit there, talk to her, hold her hand, cook for her, and take care of her, whatever she could to bring comfort. She loved her grandmother." Meghan recalls her mother taking care of her 2 grandmothers and giving them heartfelt farewell kisses every time they came to visit in the blog post from 2014. Jeanette passed away in the year 2000, 2 days after Christmas. She was 71. Alvin Ragland, the father of Doria Ragland, was a survivor, just like her mother. Alvin, who experienced bigotry as a young man, relocated to Los Angeles and rose to prominence as an antiques dealer. He spent so much of his life on the receiving end of really ridiculous, abominable treatment to black people. Edward Ingram, the son of Alvin's former colleague, told the Daily Mail. He resisted that all his life. He was never ashamed of who he was and what he believed, and he didn't care what you thought about it. He would fight prejudice. In 2011, though, Doria's father passed away in an unusual accident. Just over 10 years after she lost her mother, Alvin got tangled in his dog's leash when he was walking him. Unable to dislodge himself, he stumbled and fell outside his house in Los Angeles, breaking his brain severely. Following a 9-day hospital stay and extensive brain surgery, he passed away at the age of 82 due to a brain bleed. This is extremely depressing. Doria still resides in the small 2-bedroom house that Alvin left her. Once owned by Meghan's great-great-aunt Lily Evans, who bequeathed the house to Alvin upon her passing, the Ragland family has owned it for many generations. Given that it was the location of her father's passing, Doria still finds it to be a moving place to live. Thomas Markle was formerly a wealthy guy who could afford to send Meghan to a prestigious school because of his lottery win in 1990. However, he was bankrupt by 2016. Meghan hoped that her father would lead her down the aisle during her impending nuptials with Prince Harry the following year. However, at the time, Thomas was supposedly embarrassed by his terrible financial circumstances and was leading a reclusive life away from the spotlight. He hates the spotlight and wants to keep his financial problems out of the press. Thomas Sr. doesn't want his personal problems overshadowing his daughter's special day, a source told New Idea. He's also not stupid. He knows the royal family will be looking down on him at the wedding and would really rather spare his daughter that stress. Samantha Markle, Meghan's half-sister, asserted in 2018 that the Suits actress neglected to assist her father during his hard times. He was very clear with her about the fact that he needed some help, and by his report, twice, she flatly refused. Samantha stated to Inside Edition, "I live on a lot less than she does, and he really had to chew on his pride to call me and ask me for help." Legal records, however, provided evidence in 2020 that Meghan had been financially supporting her father since 2014 and had kept kept up the payments until her marriage to Harry. While Meghan Markle and her mother get along well, the Duchess's relationship with her father isn't perfect. In the aforementioned interview with Elle from 2016, Meghan, who had not yet wed into the royal family, spoke highly of her father. But in the months preceding Meghan Markle's 2018 nuptials with Prince Harry, the father-daughter bond seemed to have worsened. Thomas Markle was exposed for creating images of himself reading news articles about the Sussexes, which he planned to sell to the paparazzi for hundreds of thousands of dollars, just days before Harry and Meghan got married. Since the event, Thomas supposedly hasn't spoken to Meghan and hasn't even met his son-in-law Harry. Doria Ragland was likewise against his actions. The maternal grandfather of Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet has not been in contact with them since their births in 2019 and 2021 respectively. Meghan Markle's own alienation from her father is the cause of this. Meghan decided to avoid Thomas Markle after feeling deceived by his several candid conversations with the media. Thomas said to Fox News in 2021 that he would file a court case in California to be allowed to see his grandchildren. Thomas Markle's health was deteriorating by 2022. After suffering a stroke that spring, the sick retiree was observed being wheeled into an ambulance on a stretcher. It was eventually discovered that he had been unwell for a few days after falling while shopping and then developing a blood clot in his brain, which caused the stroke. Afraid of her father's deteriorating health, Meghan allegedly thought about making amends with Thomas. Despite their estrangement, Meghan is concerned, a source told the Mirror. She wants to know if there is any way to contact her father privately without other family knowing about it or having to get involved. Meghan's father was interviewed by Australia's 7 News the following year. Speaking with difficulty, Thomas chastised his daughter for acting as though he had passed away. "I refuse to be buried by her," he said. As his condition continued to deteriorate, he consequently talked of his wish to get back in touch with Meghan. He said, "Let's go somewhere and talk," when asked what he would say to his daughter who was alienated. "And I'd say, what's wrong? How can I fix this? Of course I love you." Meghan must have gone through a lot before. So have her parents. So what do you guys think? Let us know what you think in the comments, and we hope you guys have a great day. Peace.